Good morning, everybody. Actually, it's afternoon. It's a little bit after 12 o'clock. So today, there's no way I'll get this all done. I'm a one-man show here. So this is our house right here. And we have a cluster of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have a cluster of 5 basswoods. This one is already, this went down in some heavy winds already 2, maybe even 3 years ago. And well, it's pretty much killed this spruce tree by pretty much knocked all the branches off of it. And it's got a couple alive on the bottom. And then we have an oak tree right next to the house, actually 2 of them. This one here, as it goes up, you can see, holy cow, I gotta back up. That tree, the oak tree is, gotta get in here. The oak tree is right here, this one right there. And it has a, I think I pointed to the wrong one. It's this one. And it's got a broke off branch right there. And then another one right there, which is holding up the tip of this basswood tree. And this basswood tree, without measuring, I would guess this thing's all of 28, might even push 30, at least 28. This one is a pig, and that one is probably, I think that's, I mean, you look at the distance across here, that's, I'll bet you that thing is 32 inches. However, it's not totally round. It's still big. I've dealt with this stuff quite a bit. However, you know, we definitely don't want this monster falling on our house. And it's leaning that way. However, I've got some equipment that can help us out. So anyway, we're going to start. Hopefully this is simple. This one's the littlest one, and he's in the way. So, and if you can see here, the whole base of this tree right here, I can stick my hand right down there. It's just a great big hole. And I think if we cut one down, I think you got to cut them all down, because if you leave them alone, they're going to come down in a storm anyway. They kind of supported each other up to this point, except this one. That one is, I don't know. There's no sense going crazy. If I think too much, you know, you got to just piece it apart. So there's number 1. That's what our goal is probably today. So we're going to see what we can do with him. You can see this nasty rotten spot coming down. If anybody cuts basswood trees down, when you see anything like that, you know that thing is pretty hollowed out. So anyway, they got to come down, and wish me luck. And I'm going to get started here, and I'll get back with you in a few minutes. So, like I say, I'm going to take this little one down right here. That's the first step. So anyway, talk to you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, here's what we got. We had to notch this out so I could get my handle to crank, because we are at such an angle coming down. I had to improvise and put my skid steer. I had to put one of the forks down on the ground ahead of it, just to stop it from popping out. So the next thing, we're going to run into some problems over here because I barely got enough room to get my chainsaw in there. But we're going to figure it out. Thought I'd give you a little scoop before we get this thing going. Talk later. Probably have to have you on the show. Right here where I'm cutting, very difficult with these other trees in line to be able to get that cut properly. Yeah, this part is kind of, it's more difficult than you think, just because trees are on both sides and even on the back side. You can't get in there to get a good shot, to get a clean cut. Hey guys, right here where I've cut that notch, I screwed up. I got the back cut way too close, and it's starting to pull away there, and not a good thing, but it's so difficult. I don't know if you understand
when you can't, you can't see around. Anyway, whatever I did, that's number one screw up on my part. Anyway, just thought I'd mention that. Another thing I wanted to mention, that little tree up on the head of the tree. Once that tree came down, it's just like the branches from the bigger tree and the little tree. It's like it's almost like they formed almost like a rope, and they just weren't going to let go. We kept trying on this thing, and once this tree comes down to the ground, I do have to mention that what I should have done, because we knew it was tied up into the top of the big tree, we should have just tied onto the big tree and stopped messing with the little one, because they were going to both go down together the way they were tangled up on the top. The best thing we could have done is had a climber here, but my old body is not going to be climbing no trees. So anyway, I'll stop it here and continue on. God, just afraid of that damn thing. I cut that cut. Well, it didn't want to go, so then, although we don't have a whole heck of a lot hanging on over here either. Makes all the difference when you can't get in with your saw, kind of mess this up. Well, let's see. I think we got too many branches touching on top, so we set up a cable here to try to help assist with that. I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll give it a little shot here and see what happens. That's pushing it over.
Is it?
Yeah.
on the bottom.
Well, I haven't.
Here I'm looking at the top of the tree, and some of my thoughts is, please God, let this tree come down. Right here I'm taking the skid steer and trying to assist in the push, but in the picture you can see the tree is bowing, so we know that the top of the tree is something is hanging on a ton, and it just does not want to let go. If I could reverse this, what I think I should have done, I should have stopped and put the cable on the big tree, and I'm sure that would have worked very well, taking the two down, because they were so entwined together that it would have, they would have both came down together, I'm sure. But we did get this thing down finally, but boy, it was a task.
Doing anything?
No.
Right here, as you can see, probably not highly advised, but I could not get into that bottom cut, so I decided to raise it up a bit so I could get my saw in there to do a better job. We chained off the base of that tree to the large tree behind it, as you can see, and definitely not everything was done right here, but there were a lot of bad conditions. Trying to work amongst all these tree trunks was very difficult. I've taken a lot of trees down in my life, but I don't think I've ever ran into this situation before. But as I think I mentioned earlier, once the tree got on the ground, you could see how, I mean, they were 2.5 inch, 3 inch branches that were like, you could see where they wrapped around the large tree's branches, and I'm sure that's what was holding it up. One of the other things I wanted to mention is the cable position that we had. We should have gotten that up probably another 10-12 feet, and that would have made all the difference in the world.